A quiet kind of defiance. In a town where a man's worth is measured by what he hides, one lawman chooses to stop running. This is a story of quiet defiance, of love that doesn't ask permission, and the kind of strength that doesn't bend. Welcome to Secrets Under Stetsons. Chapter 2. The Look That Lingers. Sheridan had its own rhythm, slow in the mornings, steady by midday, and quiet again before dusk. Elijah Cade moved through it the same way he always had, with purpose and distance. A man didn't last long out here if he let himself get tangled in things that didn't serve him. But something had shifted. He felt it the moment he stepped out of the jailhouse that morning. Not in the town, not in the air, in himself. He walked the boardwalk, boots steady, eyes forward. Folks nodded as he passed. Some tipped their hats. Others stepped aside without thinking. He was used to that. The badge carried weight, and he wore it like it was part of his skin. Still, his mind kept drifting back, to the cell, to the man inside it. Liam Prescott. It didn't make sense. Elijah had seen all kinds come through those bars. Drunks, thieves, men with too much anger and nowhere to put it. They all blended together after a while. Faces, names, stories. None of it stuck. But this one did, not because of what he'd done, because of how he looked at him. Not afraid. Not challenging, just seeing. Elijah didn't like that. He turned down the side of the street, heading toward the livery, needing to move, to shake the feeling loose. But it followed him, sat behind his ribs like something waiting. By the time he made his way back to the jailhouse, the sun was higher, the town more alive, and there it was again. That pull. He stepped inside. The jail was quiet, same as always. The faint creak of wood, the smell of dust and iron. Nothing out of place, except him. Elijah moved to his desk, set his hat down, picked up a paper he didn't read. He didn't need to look to know Liam was there. "You always this restless?" Liam's voice came from the cell. Elijah didn't answer right away. Then, "You always this talkative?" "Only when it seems worth it." Elijah let out a quiet breath through his nose. Set the paper down. Finally, he turned. Liam stood at the bars, one hand resting lightly against the iron. Not gripping, not pacing. Just standing there like he belonged in his own skin, no matter where he was. Their eyes met and held, too long. Elijah felt it again, that shift, that something he didn't have a name for. "You planning on staring all day, Sheriff?" Liam asked. Elijah stepped closer, slow, controlled. "You planning on giving me a reason not to?" Liam's mouth twitched, not quite a smile. "Thought I already did." Elijah stopped just outside the cell, close enough to see the details, the dust on Liam's shirt, the faint scar near his jaw, the way his eyes didn't flinch. Most men looked away under that kind of attention. Liam didn't. That was the problem. "You don't act like a man in a cell," Elijah said. Liam shrugged. "Don't feel like one." "That's so?" "Bars don't change who you are," Liam replied. "Just show you what people think you are." Elijah studied him. There was no fear in him, no desperation, just certainty. "You think you got me figured out?" Elijah asked. Liam shook his head once. "No." A pause. "Just think you ain't as settled as you pretend to be." That landed. Harder than it should have. Elijah's jaw tightened. "Careful." "With what?" "With thinking too much about things that ain't your business." Liam didn't move. "Seems to me," he said quietly, "you've been thinking about it too." Silence filled the space between them. Not empty. Heavy. Elijah stepped back first. Just one step. But it was enough. He turned away, running a hand over his beard like he could wipe the feeling off his face. "This conversation's over," he said. "Don't feel over," Liam replied. Elijah didn't answer. He moved back to his desk, picked up the same paper, forced his eyes onto it. But the words didn't stick. Because behind him, he could still feel it. That look, the one that didn't ask permission, the one that lingered. Until next time. The dust hasn't settled yet. There's more to this story. More to uncover, more to fight for, and more waiting just beyond the next sunrise. Come back next week and walk a little further down this road with them.